If everyone's ready, we'll get going. We've got pretty much a full house, and I think everyone's seated. We're due to start any moment now. What I will do quickly is just introduce our six young panelists here. And from what I gather, we'll be able to have quite a good interactive debate on some of the key issues. I always say it's good because we'll have a chance to hear some views about the problems of the world without the baggage that's incumbent upon those of us who've passed a few more years on this planet. Let me introduce who we have very quickly. We have from Malawi, James Chatepa. I hope I said it correctly. Forgive me if I get these pronunciations wrong. I'm trying to be good with those. Omgor from the USA is with us, originally Indian. He's there. Miran Karim is from Pakistan, so we have India and Pakistan actually peacefully sitting next to each other in these tense times. Sarah Nkoma is from Malawi as well, here on my left. Charlie Young from the UK. And Elsabi Van Vuren. You say that? From Namibia. Yeah. First, we'll kick off with a video, which sets off the panel. So if we could roll the video, please. Thank you very much, Sarah. Charlie Young from the UK.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm from London. I campaign on climate change. I see climate change as the biggest threat facing our planet at the moment. And I'm working to try and get youth to Copenhagen, which was potentially the biggest and most important legislation that we've seen in the history of our planet and our civilization, because I think what the decisions that we make in Copenhagen will potentially decide how we deal with climate change. Climate change affects everything. It will fundamentally change the way we live. And I think there are people in positions of power who would like to act on climate change in the ways that we are needed. And what I do is I try and, through education on climate change, make it possible for the leaders to make these decisions without losing too many votes, without losing too many customers. So I'm trying to get people to Copenhagen to change legislation and lobby groups, but also bring those people back home, educate within schools so that that can go into the wider community, back to their parents, working with the media. And I think I found out about the science of climate change. That's what got me involved, just a few facts from some people that I respected. And I think if that was across the board, possibly in the national curriculum, I think that could have dramatic effects and make it possible for us to tackle climate change in the way that we need to if we want to live on this planet sustainably.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Elsabi, am I saying it correctly? Charlie, if I can touch on your issue of climate change, of course, that is a global concern, but many see it as a developing world issue because those in the as a developed world issue, sorry, because those in the developing world are often concerned about their economic growth in the first instance, and issues such as climate change come secondary to that. To what extent do you see a need for a greater awareness across the globe with the issue, and do you feel it is the priority when it comes to world affairs right now?
Personally, I think it is the biggest issue facing our planet. It will fundamentally change the way we live, and it will be across the globe. Those in developing countries will be the ones who suffer most, and it's a huge injustice because they're the ones who are least responsible for the problem. I think because of that we need international collaboration, and we also need the most developed countries to acknowledge their responsibility, not only now, because most developed countries are still responsible for most of the emissions, but historically it's hugely disproportionate. And I think we should stop competing and stop pointing fingers and saying, I won't do anything until you will, because the window of opportunity for us to act on climate change is closing. And unless we work together, I don't quite see how we can solve this problem.
Just in your interactions with people of different ages, different generations, in trying to promote your agenda, to what extent do you find younger people are more open-minded to the idea of doing something positive to alter the course of climate change?
I think people like the idea that they have the direct personal impact on their own carbon footprint, and if you can see definite gains when you cut your own personal carbon footprint. Kofi Annan said that the benefits of acting on climate change aren't seen because they come in the form of disasters that don't happen. So that can make it quite hard to get people to act on climate change. But children and young people in particular are very open to education, and once you tell them the facts, tell them the figures, and how on the ground they can change and influence their parents and those who are voting, I think, as long as the education and the information is there, people are definitely willing to act.
And Sabi, but Charlie, you wanted to?
I just wanted to say, on a global level, I think we need to start seeing environmental limits, scientific limits as what they are, which are limits rather than recommendations and just another lobby group that we can live within. If we want to look on a really practical level, when it comes to climate change in Copenhagen, I think we need to change the structure of the Kyoto Protocol, because at the moment there are just too many ways to duck out of cutting your carbon emissions. And if we charged for taking carbon dioxide, for taking fossil fuels out of the ground, and put that into a technology fund, so that to fund technology transfer to less developed countries and into to level out the climate injustice, I think that would be an effective way to move forward.
Could I just ask Charlie?
Yeah.
You know, how do you see yourself in 2050?
Realistically, or how I'd like to see myself in 2050?
But I asked the question because that's real for you.
Yeah.
You know, that's a real question.
Yeah.
And in 2050, it's the kind of crunch time from a climate change point of view.
Yeah.
So how do you see it?
I would like it to be that we've, got this fund started up and there's enough money to transfer enough technology. I'd like to see a planet where we thought about the environment and thought about our economy within the environment rather than as a subset of the economy. I'd like to see people thinking about their environmental impact and getting our energy from new sources, clean sources, and people being informed about environmental impact and all the issues across the world, so that they can make conscious decisions when they're voting, when they're buying products, when they're doing anything.
You had your hand up a moment ago. I'll get you in a second. Now, if I can get from all of you a thought as we're getting to the last 10 minutes or so, Elsie, if I could start with you and get from you what you would like to come out of Davos. What kind of response would you like the people here, there are some key people here, to take back from what you and your colleagues have to say? James, are you going to Charlie, sorry, are you going to take a leaf out of James's book and get angry in the next couple of days?
No, I think that what we're doing at the moment is, and what we have done over the past generations, is built up this huge environmental debt, and it seems like the young generation are expected to pay it off, and I see that as a huge injustice, but also a huge opportunity, because now I think we can solve it. What I'd like to take out of the forum is I'd like everybody here to know that there are young people in communities all across the world who are a resource, who are people who are trying to facilitate change, and we'd like you to help us to help you. So, that's what we're here to do, and please get in contact, please ask us to help you, and we really do want, we want the same thing, and we don't want to be fighting, we want to collaborate what we've got, and yeah, just help each other as much as we can.
Well done, good message. And Sarah, you're the elder in the group, metaphorically if nothing else, so we're going to count on you to get that message across to those in Davos.
I think Davos would benefit, really.
I agree. Charlie, I think you had a quick final word here.
We just said that Guildford changed us. I think what it changed is it gave us a platform to bring our ambitions and our ideals and materialize them. I think there are young people all across the world who want to make changes like this. I went into a primary school and I gave a presentation on climate change, and at the end of it there were 60 kids and they all wrote a letter to UN Secretary General saying we should act on climate change, this is a massive issue. It's about bringing the information and giving people a chance to talk and giving people a chance to materialize their ideals. These people here, we're lucky enough to be here and talk to you. What I'd like you to do is give as many young people as you know the opportunity to talk to communities like this. Thank you.
The message now then, I moderate a lot of panels, but rarely could I say I've had 6 young, articulate people like this. Rarely have I had a group as articulate as this. So please, a big round of thank you to all of them. And Mary Robinson. Thank you.